Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome to The Takeout. We begin tonight with a Justice Department statement issued July 7th of this year. Now, I know July 7th feels like a very long time ago, but it is, or should be, a very big part of the news President Trump made today on the Jeffrey Epstein matter. Trump's Justice Department issued that statement July 7th, two-page memo about its review of Epstein documents and evidence. This key sentence speaks to us today. Quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties," unquote. The memo spoke to the department's exhaustive review of all information and concluded Epstein had no client list, never blackmailed anyone, also that Epstein's sex trafficking, quote, harmed over 1,000 victims, unquote. More than 1,000 victims, a number much higher than had been publicly chronicled or even imagined before this memo was released. And yet, no blackmail, no client list, and no reason to investigate anyone else. Today, President Trump said on social media that he had directed Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, quote, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, unquote, because, he went on to say, all, quote, arrows are pointing to the Democrats, unquote. Wait, what arrows? What investigation? The July 7th memo made clear, as I just read, there were no arrows, and all investigations had led to the same conclusion. Let me repeat it, quote, "We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties," unquote. Today, Bondi said she'd already assigned the investigation to prosecutors in New York. Does that mean they missed something before? They didn't do their jobs? That the DOJ blundered on one of the highest profile investigations of this year? Is this an investigation or a diversion? Sifting the government's own statements and actions makes it very hard to tell. What we do know is Epstein's victims are where they have always been, persistently seeking all the government knows and has yet to reveal or act upon. Many sent an open letter to Congress today about future consideration of a bill to demand release of all the Epstein files, which doubtless will include information about convicted accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. That letter to members of Congress reads in part, "There is no middle ground here. There is no hiding behind party affiliation. Epstein and Maxwell's crimes exposed a double standard of justice where rich and powerful men and women evade repercussions," end quote. We begin tonight with Nancy Cordes at the White House, and it was very busy on social media at the White House with all of this today. Nancy, take it away.
Major, it would appear, just based on the timeline, that what President Trump is reacting to and what he's so frustrated about is the fact that there are now 218 signatures from members of Congress on a petition to force a vote to get the DOJ to release all of the Epstein files. This is something that clicked into place this week after a member of Congress who won a special election in Arizona was finally sworn in. There are now 218 votes. A handful of Republicans have signed their names, and perhaps more distressingly to the president, a number of House Republicans who did not sign on to the petition said that if this comes up for a vote next week, they're going to vote yes, because that's what their constituents want. The argument that lawmakers from both sides have been making is that if President Trump has not done anything wrong, and there's no indication from the emails we've seen so far that there are any new criminal complications for him, then he shouldn't be distressed by the release of the Epstein files. But he railed against them on social media today. He said any Republicans who go along with the release of the Epstein files are weak, they're stupid. And then he issued this bombshell, the fact that he wants Democrats with links to Epstein to be investigated. And in short order, his attorney general said, "Thank you very much, Mr. President. We will do so."
Nancy, you raise a very important point. Nothing disclosed today by the House Oversight Committee, Democrats, and the releases of emails pointed to any criminality or even potential criminality of the president. Nothing. Nothing at all. And yet, when I talk to Republicans about this, they're like, the Trump Justice Department has this information. They could release it. The president could get ahead of this politically, strategically, from a communications point of view, and yet he doesn't. And they, meaning the Republicans I talk to on the Hill, keep telling me privately, This is forcing our hand. We have to do something because they're not handling it on their terms.
Right. And it only adds to the mystery of why President Trump is so concerned about the release of the Epstein files that the White House even tried to convince at least one House Republican, Lauren Boebert of Colorado, this week not to sign her name to that petition. The other big question here, Major, is why, once again, the president appears to be ignoring historical precedent set by presidents from both sides of the aisle in years past, that they don't try to tell the FBI or the Department of Justice publicly or even privately who they should investigate to avoid any appearance of politics playing a role in prosecutions. And yet, we've seen him do that publicly in the past, urging the DOJ to indict people like Letitia James, people like James Comey, even after career prosecutors have advised that there's not enough there to bring a case. In those instances, the DOJ went along with what President Trump wanted, and clearly they are now doing that again by announcing that they are going to have the top prosecutor in New York's Southern District look into President Clinton's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, with Reid Hoffman, a big Democratic donor's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, even after, as you pointed out, the president's own Department of Justice said earlier this year that there wasn't a case.
Yeah, when that memo came out on July 7th, the Department of Justice said that was the last word. Apparently, it was just the next to the last word. Nancy Cordes, thank you very much.